Come in. Hi, Lois. This is Alina. She's helping me with the promote the MayapurMidwives. She's going to be the videographer and the media lady.
There's some mats under the chair that you can.
Or you can sit up there if you like. All righty. So we're back recording this. Comprehensive antenatal care, and you have a right to have it explained to you. Prior to the administration of any drug, medication, procedure, or test, you have a right to be informed of any direct or indirect effects, risks, or hazards to yourself or to your unborn baby.
This is also possible, but it's just possible.
It's actually supposed to be used within informing any pregnant woman. It's any pregnant woman's rights. I have termed it home birth rights. Because
Well, it is important to recognize that if you do transfer in front of every single hospital in India, it does say you have a right to ask us anything. They will treat you like you don't, but in front of every single emergency room hospital, there is a plaque that says, these are your rights. So it's important as the husband, I would take a photo of that. And every time you ask and they shame you or belittle you or say, your wife's going to die, your baby's going to die, be like, but I want to know what the risk is. Here, your hospital says that you need to tell me. It's very important that as the husband, you're protecting your wife. That is your main duty. That's your dharma, is to protect your wife and your child.
so this, especially in India where they won't tell you, they'll outright lie to you. You have to understand what the truth is and what your rights are. She doesn't have much English here. You have the right to choose how you give birth. Guess what? I don't have a right to tie you down on a bed. Hey, I don't have that right.
This is where you will want your choice against it.
I don't have a right to mistreat you and treat you like a child, speak to you like you're stupid. You have a right to be treated with dignity and respect at all times. And the point of the dignity and respect is to make you feel free to give birth in the way that you choose birth and how you feel comfortable. What's right for you, not the doctor, not the nursing staff. It's for you. You have the right to any ancillary or other second. So for instance, I provide a certain amount of care to you. You have a right to go somewhere else and get other care as well. You understand? Okay, so I'm acting as your primary care provider. You have a right to go out and seek other advice as well. That's still that's your rights and within your right to do that. If you get transferred to the hospital, you have the right to be treated with respect and courtesy, and to be accompanied by your practitioner and support persons of your choice, whoever you choose. He's trying to be cut out. They're all three. They're pregnant students.
What if I wasn't telling anyone?
Well, you already told me you were telling everyone, and everyone is telling me. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Okay, so this is how Here's an example of your care provider breaking confidentiality. Everybody, Kalindi's pregnant. Tell people, come on.
Yeah, but not actively.
Okay, well, it's only, we'll block it out.
It's only going on YouTube.
It's gonna be, and
It's only going on YouTube. No one's gonna see it.
so, I see that you're speaking as well. Please, decide who else gonna have my, right here.
We can just sit
I'm
here.
almost tempted, oh no, I'm almost tempted to give it to him.
Yeah, he's asking questions.
He's asking questions and he's translating. So give it to him,
You mean,
if you don't mind,
we need,
if it's okay.
it's in Bangla, right? Bangla?
No, he speaks Hindi, which is,
You think we need it in Hindi as well?
oh, we have Hindi speakers, yeah. Yeah, and Hindi and Bengali is a blessing.
I'm sorry for being late, that's why I'm
No,
sorry.
no, it's okay, it's okay.
So, I just, from my understanding, why do we need this?
Number one, he's practically repeating much of what I'm saying in Hindi to her.
Mhm.
So basically, he's translating whatever I'm saying. In short, he's translating a fair amount of what I'm saying, and he's asking questions at times or saying something. Which, okay, so I'm encouraging all of you to ask me questions at any time. This is, again, you're right. So let's do it. Let's practice how this feels. Oh, so scary. Okay, so what was that? If transferred to the hospital, you have a right not to be separated from your baby, except for valid medical reasons.
This is also something that the husbands really need to be pushing for. Like, it's otherwise, I've been put in a situation where they bullied me, and my husband was like, "Oh, I know." It was like, no, he should have said, like, they refused to let me pick up my own baby. And it wasn't just because they wanted to walk him out, and I was like, this is not okay. So it's important that the husband and then my husband did step in and say, no, the baby's crying, let her pick it up.
So this is something, a challenge that you will face in the hospital. And I really encourage you to stand up and take that challenge, pick up that sword and protect your wife and protect your child. They're looking to you to protect them. And now your father, this is daddy. This is daddy.
But
Women in labor get fragile.
there are hospitals which doesn't allow father to go in.
No, I'm talking about when we got discharged.
Yeah.
In my situation, when we got discharged, they had the baby in a bassinet and they wanted to dress the baby. They wanted to do everything. And my baby was crying in the bassinet. And I went to pick up, no, you can't touch the baby. We were leaving the hospital and they're like, you can't touch the baby. And I'm like, but he's crying. No, it's our tradition. And it's like your tradition can go, my baby is crying. And then my husband had to be like, no, let her pick up her baby.
So
That's what I'm talking about.
So the husband ends up becoming that strong voice. So I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying about the hospital. Go ahead.
Maybe you wanna add why, what are they protecting, like, what are they protecting their wives and babies against?
What are they protecting?
Yeah, like, maybe add what exactly they're protecting them from.
We're getting there. In vivid color, you can close your eyes. Close your eyes, plug your ears. So part of that is just, I hear what you are saying, that they don't even allow you in.
Yeah, we
But-
went to one hospital there.
Yeah,
So they doesn't allow anyone to go inside. Only she can go inside.
So they
Even I
can,
cannot go inside.
so they can slap her.
I don't know like what.
No, I've watched them.
actually, I had a very interesting conversation with Buddha, which was hilarious. Anyway, you have a right to comprehensive postnatal care, which means after the baby's born, you have a right to proper care for you and your baby. You have, which includes supporting you to breastfeed, to take care of your newborn baby and information about any screening tests and any vaccination, you have the right for registration of your child's birth.
ये होते हैं ना तो कुछ चल रहा है आप स्टार्ट टेक पे कर लेते हैं ना और ये कुछ केस भी कर लेना तो उनको इन्फॉर्म करना चाहिए कोई केस कर रहे हैं इनफैक्ट बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट की वो निकाल कर देते हैं यहाँ पे बॉर्न बर्थ हुआ उनको देना चाहिए बॉर्न सर्टिफिकेट फिर उसके बाद कोई केस कर रहे हैं जब उसको माना गया तो बेसिकली होता है बट रिस्पेक्टिंग तो होना चाहिए मोबाइल
You have the right to be informed if there's any known or indicated aspect of the mother's or the baby's care or condition which may cause her or her baby harm later. So, to make it a little simpler, you have a right to know if when they put an IV in your arm, are there any risks to this? If they start to inject your baby with all these needles, are there any risks? You have, number one, you have a right to know that they're about to do it. You have a right to know what they're doing to your child, and you have a right to ask, and you have a right to say no.
मेडिकेशन तो वो हमारा राइट है हो सकता है क्या क्या दे देते हैं इसको भी कुछ दे रही है साइड
You have the right of access to yours and your baby's records and receive a copy of your notes if you want them. So you know how I keep these files. If you want a copy of all your notes, you have a right to a copy of them. Huh?
I need that document.
Oh, no worries, I can send it to you. In the event of any unexpected outcome to your pregnancy or birth, you have a right to receive all the additional support and services that are required. So if there's any complication or like if with a cesarean, actually you're unaware, but it's far more painful than labor. It takes up to 6 months to a year or longer to recover, where natural birth is 6 weeks. So, and actually you will never fully recover from a cesarean ever. So this is part of your morbidity rates that are skyrocketing because almost 100% women are scarred and marked like this, which is permanent.
So what we have a right to want?
You have a right to receive all information about it and support afterwards. So postnatally, it's harder for a woman after she's had a cesarean. It's very, very painful. We're cutting right through all your muscles. Even I remember my dad had a ruptured something, and they cut hemorrhoid and something, and they had to tie it off. And he said he never knew how everything was connected to his stomach, just sneezing, just turning your head. You had no idea. He said it was like every time I blinked, I could feel it in my bum. And that was just that. That was a little surgery that cut through major muscles like this. Now, cesarean section is cutting through 7 layers like that. That's a major injury.
Despite it is a major surgery. It is a major surgery.
And it takes a long time to recover.
Surgery would they do that without giving you proper informed consent? Pardon?
To go to Indian hospital, it's quite common now.
Yes, but it's
heard like from most of the people, like even my friends which have delivery, hardly you heard like someone has like normal baby. Mostly you'll heard like C-sections.
But my point is if you go in because you've got appendicitis, they explain everything to you. There is a risk of death here.
True.
In a C-section, they're like, you've got to save your baby, sign this.
Your baby's going to die. That's the line they use at you. Now, okay, you and me.
They don't.
Wait, you and me. Your baby's gonna die. You're responsible for this. She needs a cesarean. It's gonna be your fault. I'm not taking responsibility. Your baby's gonna die. What are you gonna say to me?
go and say,
Thank you. I got you. I got you right there. I can say anything I like to you. Your baby's gonna die. I can
They
do
don't
anything.
say that though. They don't
I
say your
actually-
baby, they
I
say,
actually have,
they'll
no,
say-
they do.
well, for me, they said,
Okay, but I've seen many.
they'll say, if you don't decide now, we can't be responsible for what happens later. And then it takes 2 hours for the anesthesiologist to come back from lunch. So it's like, we need to do this now, and then all of a sudden it's like, the doctor's not ready, you need to wait 2 hours. Do you see the mind games they play? So they leave it open up to you. If you don't make this choice now, we can't guarantee that everything will be fine.
And
But then
every
now we've got to wait for the
husband,
doctor. Now you've said, yes, we're gonna wait for the doctor.
and every husband will feel the pressure. If I say this to you and I speak to you like you're an idiot, you're gonna listen to me. I can scare you to death, can't I? You're gonna do everything I say. Okay?
so that's what happened.
This is what happens.
So see, is it father what we want, like, a wife should be in a good, health. And what it is, the word sees, the child is good health, right? So
Yeah.
I should be able to do anything, like, at the time, right? I want to, like, save my child.
Yes,
So is it-
exactly. But they play on, yeah, they know what you're feeling, they know what your emotions are, and they use it.
see, so now, if not really discuss that everything, so we. बच्चा का जवान होना, पर होने वाला है जैसे, तो हॉस्पिटल में डिस्कशन से पहले पोस्ट करते हैं, तो हम कोशिश नहीं सकते हैं, मतलब क्यों कर रहे हो, क्या रीजन है, क्या नहीं है, से बता के जब वो ये सब कुछ सीरियसनेस से क्रिएट कर देंगे ना, उसमें मतलब भाई है लाने बोलेंगे कि वो पापा को बोलेंगे कि आप रिस्पॉन्सिबल हो गए, अगर कोई कुछ हो गया, मान लो कुछ हो गया है ना, आपको डिसाइड करना भी जल्दी करो बोलेंगे। हाँ, तो मेरे तो उसमें शुरू में है ना, जल्दी आप सेव कर लो बंदो है, वो रहता है, बट वो राइट होता है हमारे लिए, फिर से गेम वाला भी चीज मतलब कि कर रहा नहीं कर रहा, तो फिर हम जो भी चीज मेडिकेशन देगा उसको डिस्कस करते हैं, आप बोलेंगे।
Okay, so as a woman has, stop it, what? As a pregnant woman has rights, she also has responsibilities. If you don't pay attention to your responsibilities, and we all have them, if you don't do your responsibilities, then you don't have, you lose your rights.
राइट्स तो वही ना, लोग आगे बढ़ियो ना, आपके साथ कोई भी चीज उसमें रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आप, उससे आप यदि मदर बन रहे हो ना, तो कुछ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज तो है ना, बच्चा को देख देख रहा है, उसके बाद इससे द राइट्स एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज है।
As an example, you have the right to give birth in a safe place that you consider is comfortable and safe. But you also have the responsibility to make it safe and comfortable, right?
इससे एग्जांपल धीरे पहले बोला था कोई एक राइट हमारा कि एक सेफ जगह में रहना, कैसे कंडीशन में रहना, बट आपका ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि आप पिता का उसको मतलब क्लीन करो, जहाँ पे करते हो ना, क्लीन करो, सारा कुछ बनाओ।
All right, so the pregnant woman's responsibilities, and really it's the family too. You have the responsibility to learn about the physical and emotional process of birth. So for instance, if you want to give birth under your own steam with doing your power, then it's your responsibility to learn and understand what is it I'm dealing with.
वो सेंस की होना, तो वो आपको सिर्फ खाना के लिए क्या सिम्टम्स होगा, कैसे किया तो सारा कुछ इसके बारे में नॉलेज पर करना, फ्रीक आउट नहीं होना, मुझे बोला कि मतलब परेशान होगी।
You're responsible to learn about good antenatal and birth care so that you can choose what's the best process for you. I'll say it again. It's up to you to learn what is good antenatal care, what's good care in pregnancy, what's good care in birth.
Antenatal means it's before.
Oh, pregnancy, During pregnancy, antenatal is during pregnancy. Postnatal is after birth. Okay. So you have the responsibility to learn about this, to understand what you're about to enter into, so that you can make the best possible arrangements, which will suit you, not me, not him, you, not him, you, which suits your individuality and your circumstances. So sometimes people live alone, and other times people live with a lot of people. What do you need for your situation and circumstances?
Usare queste vengono avuto a meno che non è considerato quella se devi prendere solo prendere sì e se mi trovo per il fondo che hai bisogno non sarà così da allora
But you're coming anyway. We've already made up our minds. For learning, you're responsible to learn about your practitioner's methods, including evaluation of statistics. So what this means is you have a right to ask me, as we said before, you had a right to ask me, but it's also your responsibility to ask me. It's your responsibility to learn. What is it that I do? You want to understand. You have a responsibility to look at my statistics. How many births have I been to? How many deaths have I seen? How many cesarean sections have I experienced? You have it's up to you to look in and make sure what they're trying to say is, it's up to you to make sure I'm qualified.
so now we are seeing
Okay, there you go. All right, you want to know my qualifications?
sorry
No, okay, please do not be sorry. It's your responsibility, sir. You must ask this. You're responsible. So you ask me these things. No apology. So I've been a midwife for 53 years. I did various different ways of going. I started going to university, and I was going to become a nurse midwife. I just did what I thought was obvious. So I went to university, but in order to first in the Hawaii, at this time in Hawaii, in the US, all states are different. So in Hawaii, where I was living, I had to do, besides high school, you had to do 2 years of pre-nursing, 4 years of nursing, then a year of practical nursing, then 2 years of midwifery. So, which I might have been an obstetrician actually. And the first 2 years of pre-nursing was things I did I went to a really good private school, a very good private school. Everything I was doing in these classes was what I did in 9th and 10th grade. And everybody in my school said that the first 2 years in college, you'll be just recovering everything you did at school. I had a child and another one on the way. I was a devotee. I looked after the kids when this guy was going out hassling Japanese tourists. Yeah, that's you, Shaori. Hassling Japanese tourists in Waikiki to build this temple. Yes, to build this temple and Krishna Balaram. So that's what I was doing. So I didn't have time for this program, and I think I got pregnant at the same time.
sorry
No worries.
got late
Don't. I do both. So the short of it is I dropped out of school. And at the same time, another midwife, a disciple, had moved to Hawaii. I was pregnant. She started attending births. I started attending births with her. Manindra was her name. I don't know if you know Kusha Shruti Kirti's first wife, or if you know these names. Kusha, Shruti Kirti. I was at their birth, their baby's birth. Mayapur. No, not Mayapur. There's another one.
What?
Yeah, the
Son's
girl,
name?
the girl. MayapurChandra is Tarani's son. What?
Mayapur is.
Trust me, I know Shruti Kirti from Brahmachari. I know all four of his wives. Four, yeah, four. Okay, Tarani. Tarani, sorry, Tarani, Shivani and Kusha.
Yes,
then
so
just Kusha.
And
And now we have the new one.
yeah, so but Kusha and
Shivani were wives together.
okay, but Kusha's son is Mayapur.
No, Kusha's son, it doesn't have a son to Shruti Kirti yet. She has a daughter. That's the birth I was at. This is the birth I'm talking about.
Okay.
MayapurChandra is Tarni's
Okay.
son. Yeah,
Okay. Hashtag.
yeah, I've got all the scoop on the old guys. Just ask me.
This pregnancy of like,
Oh, sorry, right.
is there any like death happened to any patient or?
I've not a mother. I've never lost. Okay, so I've attended over 50, about almost 1,500 births, 1,500 births in 53 years. I've never
Probably
lost a
more.
mother. Touch wood. I've never lost a mother. I can't remember the number. Actually, I keep boiling it down to a percentage. But up until 2023, my cesarean,
Transfer.
the transfer rate was 0.004%. Okay. In my 1 year here, my transfer rate doubled. Thank you very much.
It's probably triple now.
No, that was a double. This last one was doubled. So.
Are there any loss for the newborn baby?
Yeah, the law is you have a right to have a birth certificate wherever you gave birth.
Asking you.
So I'm asking about any death.
Have you lost a baby?
Are you asking me if I lost a baby?
Like, have you had a baby die on your
During the 53 years, like as you say that there is no loss for the mother, so anything happened.
Loss. I'm sorry, I heard law. Okay, loss. That's what I'm trying to remember. It's the same rate. So I
One
think it's
stillbirth?
four. No, I've had more than one. I've had probably four. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's break it down. I've had one baby die in my arms, not in my arms. She was alive. She delivered dead, but she was alive during labor, right? So I could hear her heartbeat. She was one of twins. She was the second twin. So I could hear her heartbeat, but by the time she delivered she had passed. She passed away in that time.
Both twin.
No,
No,
one
just
twin. The
one.
first one was good. And in fact, another set of twins, that's another stillbirth where, okay, but this is different. So there's different types of stillbirths. There are babies who die just before being born, just before, during the process. I think there's a actual definition that within certain hours after death, it's called or like moments after death, it's a stillborn. If they don't oxygenate their blood, that's it. If they don't oxygenate their blood, meaning they don't take a breath, right? So if they don't take that oxygen, even if the heart's going and it stops, that's a stillbirth. So that one was a stillbirth. Now, I've had other babies who died before delivery, died before the mother went into labor. So the other 3 stillbirths that I have are babies who died before labor began. So there are various reasons for that. What did you do? Did you put your finger in a light socket?
No. I was trying to cut open it.
Oh, yeah, okay, I understand. I have many scars.
So the answer to sum it up is 4 or 5? Because there's that one that we don't, just say you don't know what to do.
That's the first one I mentioned.
Okay, so it's 4. 4 babies.
So that's 1, 2. I know, and then not Milo's brother. I've got the photos.
3.
That's 3. I feel like there's a 4th. I feel like I saw a photo.
Okay, so there is
I don't
4
remember.
children who have not made it,
And
But
3
it
of
is
them died before
out of-
labor. Thank you.
Before labor.
Yep.
Yeah.
3 of them are before labor and 1 of them was just, was during labor.
Mm,
So, and again, touch wood.
that's
Nice
good.
touching wood.
Yeah.
But you want to know something? These stories were amazing. Beautiful. You can't understand how beautiful they were. Your heart breaks. I'm not going to deny it. I'm going to fight it too. Krishna's in control, and I promise you, I'm going to fight him. I tell you, we have to accept what Krishna comes up with. Well, in that moment, none of us are going to accept it, right? We're not going to accept it. We're all going to go to war with Krishna. And I'm going to be in front of you leading the way. Fix this, Krishna, get on with it. And I'll fight. I'll fight. But I know that Krishna wins one way or the other, whatever he wants. Raki Krishna Morike, Mori Krishna Raki Ke. But I'll go to war. Notice the bones I break. I'm thinking, is this because I'm being evil? Oh.
Anyway,
Yeah, we'll get to
Maybe
that
we'll-
later.
but maybe if we've got time at the end, you can tell the story of the stillborn, the one who came up, like she, with the twin, the girl who,
Oh, yeah, that was
that is a
amazing.
nice story.
Actually,
it
these
shows
stories of
Krishna-
loss are when you leave it at home. Number one, if you lose a child at home, you know you did not do anything to cause the death. You go to the hospital, you'll be asking questions for the rest of your life because these guys are jabbing, stabbing, knocking, bumping, all kinds of things into you. So was it that? Was it that? Was it that? Was it that? With me, you will know. With natural birth, you will know. There's only one person we blame here, and we let him do it.
We fight him, but
I'm gonna fight him. I know I never was that smart. I don't know why you come to me at all, but I will fight him for you. The doctors won't, I promise. Okay,
they lost a mother when they did a C-section 6 months ago because they cut into her bladder. Yeah,
because they believe the bladder is behind the uterus. Go look at my books here, my medical
know that.
books.
but they did.
That's their answer. The baby is in the way of the bladder. It's not possible. Okay, so I'll go on. I think those are the hardcore statistics that you want to know. So this is,
I would actually implore you, if you go and see any other obstetrician, go and ask them what their statistics are on birth, because there is not one person who will match this.
and no, normally I wouldn't say such a bold statement, but I actually believe this. I don't think anybody in India, other than some way old obstetrician or die, knows anything about giving birth in India. Not one of them. I've met them. The stuff they say and the lies that they're willing to tell you to your face. Unbelievable. Sorry. I told you I had to apologize at the beginning of the meeting, just in case, because it was bound to happen. I was going to upset someone. Okay. Oh, no, hang on. So you're responsible about your own emotional health. You hear me? You're responsible. I can't fix you. I can give you vitamins. I can give you a diet recommendation. I can give you exercises, but it's your responsibility to do it. It's your responsibility to make yourself well. I can't. You are well. I'd love to do it if I could, man, I would do it. I can't.
That's fine.
It's your job. It's your job. It's your job. It's your job to make sure she does it.
The
Sorry.
reality is, as a midwife, your responsibility to the patient is to find the problem. It's like, if you've got low iron, why have you got low iron? Okay, let's increase. Whereas a doctor, specifically in this country, will turn around and be like, you've got low iron, we're gonna give you this and this and this and this, and we don't care why. We're just gonna mask the problem. And then, oh, if you end up with constipation, then we'll give you this. And if you end up with this, we'll give you this. And they're just adding more medication to the problem.
It does
Yeah,
like during his early pregnancy, like she was vomiting her too much, right? So I think mother, she also went to Australia at the time, like, so we went to hospital, whatever you say, like, whatever the problem you say, like, they'll give the medicine for her. If you say the backache, they'll give you, like, medicine for.
what did I do for a backache?
Huh?
How much medicine did we give her for her neck?
So
I could have given you a lot, right?
next time I told her, don't tell more problems, otherwise they'll give you more medicines.
I know. Now I could have, what if you told me about the sore neck? You know, I make medicine, right? You know, I make my own stuff. What if I just pulled bottles off the shelf and said, you need this? Now I did actually, but forget that. What if for her neck, I pull out, you need this, you need that, you need.
Is there, we should be aware, like, why it is happening, right? Nobody tells, like, no, why it is happening, if there is a back pain, why it is happening, right? If there is a, like, some problem, why it is happening, like, and what is the way to cure it, like, instead of medicine, right? Problem with this, because I feel like, whatever the problem say, so for this back pain, this is, for your acidic, this is the, like, medicine, like, for every problem, there is a medicine for that.
But it is, and the reality of the situation is when they don't know,
They
they
just give you the pill.
they freak out and give you my nephew had, what did he have? Typhoid.
Yeah,
My nephew had typhoid, right? And it took us a while to diagnose him because he was just like, I don't feel well. And we finally take him to a doctor. He's got typhoid. We're like, okay. They give him antibiotics, and then somebody else freaks out and is like, you have to take him to the hospital. They take him to the hospital, they stop the antibiotic treatment. Now, basic medicine that I know is you never stop a course of antibiotics. You always see the course through, but they would stop the antibiotics and start a new one. And then he wasn't getting better, so they stopped that antibiotic and give him a new one. And by 1 month in, he's had 5 different courses of antibiotics. He's still no better, and they're like, he's gonna die. There's nothing we can do.
but
And it's like, but
you're doing with these antibiotics.
you haven't given him a full course of antibiotics yet.
So
What do
you
you
know what
do?
happens? The disease becomes resistant to the antibiotic. So then
He
they
is
give
fine,
another
by the
one
way.
and if you don't finish the course, the disease learns, oh, I figured, I know your infantry, I know exactly how your code works. So the virus learns to fight him. So then, okay, now you bring him in, but don't bring him in the whole time. I got the 2 of you. I know both of you. Now I can fight you. And you don't get a chance to finish your job before I'm gonna hand it to her. I'm gonna figure her out in no time, man. Elise is easy. It's like this. And so the germs become resistant. Yeah,
So you end
I
up
get
with
stronger.
the statistics now coming out on antibiotics, which is something they will very readily give you in a hospital. Your baby has a blood infection. We're not really worried about it. We're going to give antibiotics anyway. It should cure itself, but we're still going to give you the antibiotics.
Which make you weaker and weaker. Your body doesn't
Well-
create its own antibiotics.
The statistics coming out now, in 1 year, if you have 1 course of antibiotics, your chances of depression go up by 25%.
Wow.
Just one. If you have 2, and then it's like anxiety, depression, all these things, you can go and research it now. And hospitals are like handing it out like candy. You want candy? Yeah, I'm your brother.
But we have to fight against antibiotics.
Yes.
And when at a point in time where he's actually, a baby's new to this outside world, this is a big deal. From inside to outside is huge. And they have to deal with this and get used to it all in their own sweet, gentle time. But they're not
Our immune system will learn, right?
correct.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna show you something later. This is what happens for a baby when they're born in a hospital. We'll get there.
Madhuri, one question I have,
Yes.
like especially for the newborn, maybe when we talk, so till what time you recommend that antibiotics should not be started? Because now you've seen the.
I never give antibiotics.
Oh.
Why would I give antibiotics?
Yeah, now there's so many kind of fever which did not.
Yeah, but
take
look at-
antibiotics.
So look
What
at
can
your
Do you know what the
people now. Look
antibiotics
at your
you take?
people.
You take breast milk. That is the best antibiotic.
That is an antibiotic
milk.
right there.
Okay.
That's antibiotic. That's the best antibiotic you've got. And that helps the baby jumpstart his system.
Yeah.
So within all our bodies, we have an adrenal system. This is the system that fights and fights disease. And it works like circulatory system. In fact, it's our blood that they run separately, but the heart pushes it around. Oh, yeah. And what am I saying? Oh, so this is a new system for the baby. So their intestines are delicate and coated with antibiotic cream, let's say, from their own intestines. I'm going to show you something, what they do now to babies to get rid of their antibiotics, their normal God-given antibiotics. I'll show you. We'll come to that. Did I answer your question? Sort of? No. What did you ask me?
We don't give antibiotics.
I don't give antibiotics, so I answered it. Okay.
I'm just asking.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Please, I was saying, it's your job to ask me questions. It's your responsibility to ask me questions, okay? So you do this.
Actually, all the processes that the baby goes through in natural birth support the baby's immune system. Like when it comes through the birth canal, it gets certain things from the mother that inoculates its digestion with all the good stuff that it eats and the breast milk. So if you follow a gestational system, actually avoid so many problems. But the minute you start with interventions is when it gets so complicated, and then only the doctor knows, how to fix it.
How to master, how to validate.
Well, after, yeah.
But
Well, they can always cut you open.
yeah, just
Okay.
master something.
So you have a responsibility to attend your antenatal appointments. And inform me if you have. Oh, you have a right to attend your appointments and you need to inform me if you can't make it. So just to let you know, I have people who come here such as Radha Kun and sometimes Helena and Induleka, who's the other midwife that works with me. They bring their kids. Their husbands are watching their kids and they've left home and they've come here waiting for the appointment. And then people don't let us know they're not coming. So yeah, so it's good to you have a responsibility to let us know if you can't make it. You have a responsibility for your own psychological preparation for home birth, and we will get on to that. Preparing for a home birth is completely different from preparing for a hospital birth. In a hospital, you absolutely hand your woman and your baby to some doctor. You no longer have any rights, yeah? I know you want to tell him.
That's right. If they're gonna release. I should think that one for intending.
This is a good line.
Sorry? Yes.
So, if we are preparing for home birth, we are seeing, if we are going for a hospital, they are having so many equipment, they are checking the baby, how baby is doing inside the womb. But here we are having faith that you are showing the signs of the child and the mother.
Yeah,
But we are not having anything that how to check inside what is going on, how baby is working, how baby is in danger or mother is having in danger. So this is hindering in the mind that
okay, so, but you've only, no, I'm gonna answer this one. So you only just started coming to, and we actually haven't gotten started. We haven't had a time to get started. Let me find somebody else's file. Because you will know I do everything.
Yeah.
I'm just pulling out a random chart. See, we've only just gotten started. I don't even know if we started asking questions yet. That's why I might as well put you out. This is you. You are Supreme, right? So you've only just started coming. I believe, what are you? Oh, you are 28 weeks. Okay, but you only just started coming. So these are the things we will do. So We take care, we note, write down. So at this point, at 29 weeks, I'm gonna see you every 2 weeks, right? And every time you come, I'll mark down the date, how many weeks along you are, and we measure your fundus every time. What's a fundus? What do we do? So your uterus is here and it grows, right? So every appointment, I measure you, take the tape measure from the top of your pubic bone, because I can't necessarily reach the top of your baby's head. It's usually floating somewhere around here. So I can find this, and I go from the top of this to the top of the uterus, which is called a fundus. So we take this measurement every time at every appointment. And this roughly correlates to the number of weeks that you're pregnant. So within 1 or 2 centimeters. So if you're, well, I guess you'd be 30 weeks now, hey? So if you were 30 weeks, your measurement would be anywhere from 28 centimeters to 32 centimeters, yeah? And that would shape, and we'd watch it every week. We're watching it grow. We're watching it change.
So when the baby is growing inside.
So the baby is growing. So part of the issue with seeing if a baby's growing, thank you. Babies don't just sit still. They don't just sit like this. Sometimes they're like this. Sometimes they sink down. Sometimes they curl over. Sometimes they're tighter, and sometimes they stretch out. So you can't be 100% accurate with it. So we watch it each time and we're measuring it, and we'll get this kind of growth thing. So if the baby's growing, we know the baby's healthy and well.
So just like in hospital, like, they do some tests, this kind of. And anomaly scan or, and they scan or anomaly scan just to check,
Okay.
something like that.
All right. So number one with these anomaly scans, are you aware that most congenital abnormalities cannot be detected from a scan? Most of them you can't find.
Can I say something?
No, that's all finished. And what are you going to do?
What's the
What you going to do?
Worry.
Your baby have anencephaly. What are you going to do? If your baby has Down syndrome, what are you going to do? You going to abort them?
what people do,
They will abort them. But these are living people. These are people. It's one thing, I can wrap my head around abortion 10 weeks for certain things. I can get my head around it. 30 weeks, no way. That's
and the karma, there is different karma for them.
there better be. Yeah, the kid who's getting chopped up, this kid, this size, is getting chopped in your uterus. This baby's real. This baby has bones, got a brain, got a beating heart. You heard it. 12 weeks, people walk in and have termination. You heard that strong heartbeat. I can't find the baby, could I? Your uterus is small enough. I couldn't find baby. I could hear a bang, bang heartbeat, didn't we? Strong heartbeat. That's a person. It only got bigger. 30 weeks. What are you going to do, people? You're not going to kill this baby. If you try to do it at 30 weeks, you're likely to be very sick for the rest of your life and have huge issues getting pregnant again. Imagine. Go ahead.
Can I say something? So I actually had a friend who, why? I had a friend, and this is going back 30 something years ago, and they did an anomaly test at 32 weeks. And they were like, the baby has Down syndrome. We suggest you abort. They're devotees. So they're like, no, this is what we have to do. The child came out and does not have Down syndrome. So it's like the accuracy of these tests are not accurate. My second friend, they had a baby or an acquaintance had a baby with trisomy 13, which is babies don't survive. They wanted her to terminate. They said, no, you need to terminate. Again, a devotee. She said, I'm not going to. They said, this baby is going to be like, this baby is not going to survive. That's okay. She gets to the end of her pregnancy. This baby is not going to live through birth. The baby lives. This baby is not going to live more than 12 hours. 3 months later, that baby was still alive. That baby had its own karma to deal with. There's nothing like, as specifically as devotees, what are you going to do if they turn around and say your baby has a hole in its heart? Okay, the chances of that baby surviving, it's horrible, but on a karmic level, what have you got to go through and what has that child got to go through? So, and again, for me, the biggest one is when they're negative. They have no idea. They'll turn around and tell you, oh, your baby's too big. My baby was 2.5 kilos. What do you mean that's too big? You know, oh, your baby's too small, comes out at 2.9 kilos. They have no idea. The scans actually are not accurate. And if you go and look at the World Health Organization, they actually tell you their recommendation is no more than one ultrasound if there is reason to do an ultrasound. And hospitals are like 10 ultrasounds every pregnancy.
Because they get more money out of the DNC. When there's more operations to do, we keep pumping operations into you, and then you become scarred for life. So what's wrong with a Down syndrome kid? Nothing, people. My cousin had Down syndrome. She protected me, man. She was a force to be reckoned with, that's for sure. But Down syndrome, these are beautiful people. She lived to 67, you know? She ran that roost. She was in charge. So these are people with their own karma. There's nothing we can do about this. And also, again, I can only emphasize, you cannot pick up these things from an ultrasound. An ultrasound cannot tell you about any trisomies, any of the what is it? Congenital abnormalities, but the trisomies, chromosome abnormalities. They can't tell you anything about chromosomal abnormalities, and that's the major source of abnormalities. By the way, the abnormalities now have increased because of what we will soon see as how babies are treated in hospitals. Okay. You have a responsibility of meeting your practitioner's requirement and preparation for home birth. Actually, before I leave 6, I want to repeat you're responsible for your own psychological preparation in a society which may be unsupportive or even hostile. You all know this, right? So, all right. Yeah.
Can we just go back? Because I feel like just in answer of your question, aside from ultrasounds, Mataji will take the height of the fundus. So she's checking that there is regular growth. She checks your blood pressure, which is a good baseline indicator of where you're peaceful. So when you walk in the door, you walk up the stairs, your blood pressure is high. She won't take it then. She'll wait, talk to you half an hour later. Let's take your blood pressure, see where you're at. You're relaxed. Oh, it's a bit high. What's going on? Let's check your diet. Let's see. Then she'll check your baby's heart rate. So we get a consistent level of like your baby's heart rate consistently through, especially if you come early on in pregnancy, then we've got a very good baseline that your baby's heart rate is between 140 and 147, right? And then when you're in labor, we check all those things. Oh, you're looking a little tired. So let's go and check your blood pressure. Your blood pressure is fine. Oh, we haven't given you anything to eat yet. Like, you hungry? You're not hungry? We've got to give you something to snack on. We've got to get you a dal. We've got to get you hydrated. Oh, the baby's heart rate is still fine. So we're good. Your baby's heart rate is still within this measurement. Oh, it's going up, but it's going up because there's a contraction. So that's also fine. It's jump back down straight away. So we do exactly what a hospital will do. The only difference is we don't have you strapped down onto a bed where you can't move. So we had a birth. The mother's in a contraction, bending over, and I'm just going like this with this. I've just got this, and I'm going like this, like, oh yeah, like, I'm checking over here. She's like, in whatever position she wants to be in, I will find it and make it work. So, like, in answer to your question, there is nothing that the hospital does that Mataji doesn't do except an ultrasound.
And
Which,
interventions,
and
like if you go into a
interventions.
hospital in labor, they will straight away stick a tube up your urethra into your bladder, right? I don't do that unless I have to. It's called capitalizing. Is there a catheter here? He usually floating around somewhere. They're party favors around here.
and then
Toys.
the only other thing that a hospital will do, which I have been through, and it is actually stressful, is they strap you up to measure your contractions and measure the baby's heart rate. And
So
that
you
is-
can't move.
you can't move, and it's super stressful to you because you're like, when do you feel pain? I don't know. I'm feeling pain now, man. Like, I just want to be safe. I want to be happy so that you don't give me a C-section. I don't want a C-section. So, but it's like they put you in a situation where you are in stress naturally. So that they can do whatever they need to do, so they can justify what they need to justify. Does that answer your question? Okay.
We do it all.
We break equipment.
We break it. No, we don't. I take it out of our hands quickly. All right, meeting requirements for preparation. Okay, so for everybody, you'll get a list of supplies, what you need to have on hand for a home birth. We do go to your house when it's closer to delivery, and we'll look around and we'll check your house out and see, where do you plan to have your baby? What do you think about? We'll look at what facilities do you have in the house. And if we ask you to get this, that, and the other thing, it's your responsibility to get that. You have a responsibility to inform me, oh boy. Okay, hang on. Of any relevant physical, emotional, or psychological information which you may think affects the outcome of your birth.
You want to sit down.
Really want to move? No.
Okay.
Oh, he likes the, okay. So it's your responsibility to let me know if you feel like you're going through something that's what. You want water? What? Yeah. Hey, Buddha, can you give me some water, please? Watch out, yeah. Yeah, so if you feel you have any emotional or some event in your life that's happening right now or coming up and you feel it's going to affect you, you have a responsibility to share that with me, especially if you think it might affect the outcome of your birth. Tell me. These might include if you start taking drugs or if you do take drugs, any medication, any herbs, allopathic, naturopathic, psychological, or alternative therapies. If you have anything here that you think is relevant to you or your birth or your family circumstances, please tell me. It's your responsibility to let me know. Otherwise, I can't.
Does it affect the delivery?
Oh, yeah. So we're going to get to this major point, which is very important. And it's actually the reason why I called you all here today.
Because recently, like her father got cancer, like so they're in treatment now. So I was like, it has been, he's good now, but sometimes like she was kind of like depressed, so I was giving her more fun, like visiting some places so that to be okay.
Yeah, yeah.
If I ask, like, does it affect-
Absolutely. Absolutely, these things do affect you.
No.
Often these things will come up in your labor. So if something is emotionally pulling your heart,
Even there's a problem which I did notice, like if you talk with many people during pregnancy, they will give you a lot of like ideas,
yes,
which they're not doctors, but they'll give lots of. So I had a fight with her regarding that, like I told her to don't, share with other people, like, with her sister, because generally they have C-section now.
Yeah,
If you tell, like, they will give you n numbers of idea which are not valid, right? It will.
yes,
So-
very much. Yeah.
That's the thing.
This is exactly right. And this is actually what we need to talk about today. It is why we came today. We did have a birth this week, which was extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Not for any real reason at all, which was super frustrating. It's the reason why my cesarean rates has doubled in 1 year. From 52 years to this year, they doubled. And I have to say, they're all Indian families whose other family members are there to terrify you,
Yeah, that's great.
to terrorize you, to scare you to death.
No, don't share with others. They will otherwise they'll give you.
There's this nice, I don't know who it's by, and it says, if you're going to buy a house, don't tell anyone.
Oh,
Wait until you've bought a house and then have a party,
Yeah.
once your house is set up. If you're going to, go and get a new job, don't tell anyone until you've got your new job and then everything's fine. Because everyone, all these people that are, there is a lot of love and there is a lot of, desire. We want the best for you, but then unconsciously you start putting your own negative, your own like, well, this happened to my cousin's brother's sister's friends.
Same.
And it's like, okay, like, all right, up until, and again, this question I often like to ask, how many of you were born at home? Or not via C-section? Up until 20 years or 15 years ago, most Indians were born
Yeah.
normally. 30 years ago, most Indians, especially like rural India, like outside of major cities, were born at home. And then all of a sudden, in less than 30 years, we've had a flip. It's like now the C-section rate in some states is like 60%.
no, it's not 90 to 100% across India.
And it's
Some
like,
hospitals will only do cesareans.
so better not tell them, better be like, oh yeah. When they come and say, yeah, just close your ears. Very nice, good for you, very well.
Everyone's supposed to be protected. And these negative
I mean,
negative
yeah, like, excitement is there,
Yes,
that I'm becoming mother, like, excitement there, want to share. But we have to be like that, I told her, don't share much, don't share because I mean, it's be complicated because they'll give you ideas, will
It's
make you
true.
confusion, right?
So
Especially like Bollywood movies there to contribute.
very much. And it's funny within Bollywood but don't you notice in Bollywood movies, when somebody hits somebody else, that other person flies away, They don't just kind of go like this or even knock to the ground, not just dump. No, they gotta fly across the room, right? When people that, and you're watching Bollywood and they're running, look how fast they run. They throw a spear, look how the spear goes. But oddly enough, so many actually believe what they're seeing.
Yeah.
I said to somebody, and they actually think it's real. So when they actually see these horrendous births where women are practically exploding, and do any of them end with a live mother? Have you, in any of these films, do the women ever live? I mean, so you're actually real, and there's another word that's used, which is called cultural damage. And this is a thing. This is a thing. So what you're speaking of is an example of cultural damage. It's and I have to say, I accept this. We women, our bodies have a particular curse that comes with us. We can be kind of unpleasant. So yeah, I know it's kind of perverse, but somehow or other, there's some pleasure taken by some people in coming to you going, "Man, you look like shit." God. Wow, do you always look this bad when you're pregnant?
don't make eye contact. It makes it so much worse.
Especially with my tone. Oh, God, you really. But somehow, the people who love you the most, your sisters, your mothers, your friends, what the hell's up with that? What is up with that? I do not understand this. You're my friend. I like her. I'm gonna tell her, my God, you look great. You look great. Look at you. Man, I love you. Your kids are so lucky. I love how you look. You're like practically glowing. There, you got a smile. Well, this is what your friends should do.
Yeah.
This is what your mother should do. What are they doing?
I mean, that's
The baby feels what you feel.
Oh,
Man, I don't think you look good. You know? No, you shouldn't eat like that. Don't eat that.
Can you-
Don't sit like this. Don't sit like this. Right? How many times do you talk? You're not supposed to sit like this. You're not supposed to stand like this. Don't put your right arm up with your left arm down at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or you're gonna have a girl. No, boys are only born on a Friday. Or no, what is it? Don't have a boy on a Friday. It's something like this. Don't have a boy on a Friday.
She didn't wanna go on Saturday. And she didn't pay for it. So she's
He's cracking up.
having
He knows it's true, right? You believe this stuff. And it goes around and around and around. And not the least of the damaging, the cultural damage that's done here is how women are treated. So there's no denying how women are treated. And if you don't understand the goddess that you are a goddess, you represent the goddess. You have a body like the goddess. That's what a woman's body is. It brings life. So you must respect this no matter what you were taught from birth. And that's a challenge, isn't it? That's hard work. You better do it. Get on with the work, people. It's your job.
From a Shastric standpoint, we are actually in Bhumi Loka, which means that the female body is actually stronger than the male body. And that doesn't mean like muscle wise, it means if you scientifically go and look at the pain that you go through in labor, that the tolerance of pain is set at like 15 or something. I can't remember the number. It's like they've got a measurement, it's set at 15. And when a woman goes through labor, she hits like 35. Because and it's actually something to note that we are in Bhumi Loka.
And you can do it.
Yeah, the female body is shastrically stronger than the male body. There are other lokas out there where the male body is stronger. This loka, specifically where we are, Bhumi Loka, the female body is stronger than the male body. So
And
what
even
you
science
can go
recognizes this.
through, what you go through scientifically.
Science and newborn physiology recognizes this in birth. We know actually the males are weaker than male newborns are weaker than females. They struggle, they have to fight harder where the females tend to survive easier. The weakest of the group are identical twin males. They suffer the most. They're the weakest of the lot. So yeah, this woman's body was created. Now, we're not these bodies, you know that. But you have a body, you got a pinky shirt, you got an orange shirt. You're different people, but you're wearing the body. This body is specific. It's a unique body. It should be respected for its amazing strength. And part of your strength is your mind. So let's get that under control.
Okay, so come back to our points. I have one thought like regarding the allopath or family disease or anything, whatever happened. So this is only going to affect the emotions of the mother, the living mother, not anything specific to the kid who is going to born with those things.
Oh,
Which way?
Very much so. Okay, okay, let's do it. Where is it? Okay, thank you for coming.
We're leaving to.
Oh, yes. Okay, well, safe travels and
Thanks.
keep in touch.
Yeah, see you in a month.
Okay,
Very well.
where are you going? Are you going back home?
No, we're going to Tamil Nadu.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, Tavasi is fine.
But nice. I'll send her a message.
Okay. All right.
Then for the beach.
Yeah, have fun. Where is it? All right. All right, this is how babies are treated as soon as they're born.
In hospitals.
이거는
Happy? Everybody happy? Oh, we're not done yet. We're not done. You're hearing your baby cry. You're hearing this. Watch this. Watch.
Going up the nose.
They're sticking a tube up the nose, down into the lungs, one into the stomach, one in the stomach. Flush out the stomach of all the antibiotics that the baby naturally has. We're going to wash it out. Is this baby happy? And did you notice the needle go into his butt? He got a needle.
Oh, what's that doing?
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
They're putting something to flush the system. So they're flushing out the stomach and the lungs.
What?
Because they can. Because they can. They figured out they can do it. So now I'm going to shove a tube down your baby's nose into your baby's stomach. And then after I flush that stomach out, I'm going to send the same tube down to in your baby's lungs. Lungs. I'm going to flush saline solution in there to clean the lungs out. Because Krishna didn't do a good job. I'm so much smarter than Krishna. What a fool he is. No wonder I've got a cancerous growth. This is what they're doing to your baby. Hang on. I'm not trying to do it again. But there's a.
Oh, that thing hospital.
Some guys.
When there is evidence that a child, when they have skin to skin contact, that is one of the single best medicines for a child who's maybe not breathing properly. Not breathing at all, not breathing properly. And then the other thing is hearing the father's voice. That can also,
This is a perfectly healthy baby, as was the other one. Perfectly fine.
So what medical science? They are saying that they will clean the stomach. Okay, because on the womb, like they need so much.
Because again, there's no science behind it. None. If there, okay, actually, I take that back. That's not true. There is a science behind this. Hang on. Stop.
I mean, honestly, what can you honestly tell me that it would not affect you psychologically to day in and day out be shoving? Look at that baby. to be shoving some, you think that they're kind people? I'm sorry. But you cannot be a good, kind human being. If, at one point, if you're doing that, you develop a pain. So when somebody's crying, like, I want my baby, oh, shut up. It's just a baby.
And that's how you become hard-hearted.
Yeah.
That's how you stop feeling for a baby crying. But inside you, you will hear your baby, and it won't sit well with you at all unless you kill part of your heart. So let me show you. These are the examples of where they actually use stomach washing.
Mhm.
These are for people who are alcoholics.
Yeah.
These are for, it's not supposed to happen in a neonate. These are general, look at that too. That's for an adult. These are for people who are diseased. Yeah, not for newborn babies.
Yeah, I have a question here, like, I don't know whether it is myth or what, but it say that when baby has born, and if not clear the lungs and whatever cough they have, accumulated, then future, when they grown up, they have to suffer with the lungs problem and all.
Okay, so the,
I don't know.
yeah. So the physiology of birth is that as the baby comes through the vagina, not out of your stomach, but as the baby moves through the vagina, it gets squeezed. He gets squeezed. So as he gets squeezed, the fluids get squeezed out of his lungs and they come out. So then they come out, and babies normally come out and kind of sit there going, what just happened? They're a little bit in shock. I don't touch them. They come out, they sit between the mother's legs, hands off. They all kind of look like, what's he looking like? Let me see. Is there anything nice here? Well, it looks okay for now. Okay, maybe not that one. Oh, I can't, if I think I'll find someone, but babies come out a little bit. What the hell just happened? They come out there, holy cow. Some babies will come out and start screaming and crying straight away. It's horrible. But a lot of babies come out like, holy cow. That was awful.
And then somebody loved you and you were like, oh, okay, let's do this again.
Oh, in an hour. And then some babies will just come out. They come out all different ways, and we leave them alone. We leave them alone. I don't pick them up.
After food and automatically they will.
After,
Right.
okay, so what happens? There's a chemical exchange that happens in our bodies.
Okay.
So if you hold your breath long, okay, hold your breath. After some point, you actually can't hold your breath anymore.
Yeah.
There's an exchange of gases that happen in your body that cause you, whether you want it or not, it's a reflex. You will gasp because the carbon dioxide and the oxygen levels have gone wrong. So your body has a built-in reflex, breathe. That's why if your kids threaten you, give it to me, or I'm going to hold my breath until you give it to me, I say, go ahead. Because they're just going to pass out. And besides, they never hold their breaths for that long anyway.
So just to answer your question, this is an article written about this procedure, and it says the benefits of a routine gastric suctioning or lavage in neonatal remains uncertain despite the common practices worldwide. So they don't even know if it is beneficial or harmful.
But it looks like the baby isn't happy. Okay, so from my personal view, when I see this, I consider this a baby who's being tortured. I see that baby is being tortured.
Just here's one question, like,
Mhm.
say, once the baby is inside the womb, like, still taking, lots of, like, let's say, 40 or maybe, stool or.
No, okay, so in the womb, they don't just breathe in stool. It doesn't normally happen, but it can happen. Babies do actually inhale while they're in the womb,
And they.
and they
take
inhale fluid. Huh?
Fluid.
Yeah,
They drink the amniotic fluid.
they drink it and they breathe it in.
She's asking, like, is it required to clean them? Like,
Is it what?
just like they do the stomach cleaning, like, is it required to, like?
No.
clean it?
No,
Or if the baby, it's like, stool, so at the time,
still yet, no.
no.
Okay, so if the baby inhales meconium,
That
inhales
first one.
it. So that's the black, you see in this video, I'm gonna turn the sound off, because it's stupid.
Generally, here gets me up, that's
You see here in that video?
what they're doing.
Yeah, but yes,
But
good,
his
I'm glad
bottom?
you noticed that, but look at his butt. See that black bit? That's meconium, and he'll start, she'll start passing more. There, see? Cause she's under stress. She doesn't like this. And actually, in the full video, he starts smacking her later. So again, the first thing he does, see that syringe? He injects her. And each time she passes a little more meconium because she's disturbed. So naturally, babies do this. Actually, they can do this and pass meconium in the womb. Babies don't normally drink it or breathe it. It just passes. It happens. We watch for it. We wipe the baby's mouth. Right next to him you'll see a little orange thing there. There's a bulb syringe. We carry one of those and we suction the baby's mouth out.
Like is what is it? It's true or like what?
Stool.
It's the
It's
first stool. It's 9 months worth of
Okay.
collection.
But it's not stool like yours and mine. This stuff is actually good stuff. It's good shit, man. It's sorry, but you've gotten used to me by now for sure. This stuff is made up of antibodies. Again, this is the natural antibodies. And the baby's intestines, they're packed up with this stuff for a reason. It's actually meant to fill in the intestines and help the intestines mature. There's a number of vitamins that we create within our bodies that the only way we get them are from our intestines. You don't get vitamin D directly from the sun. We go out in the sun, our skin collects it, and we make the rest of it in our intestines. The same for vitamin K and B12. We make our own. So these babies have this special meconium, and it provides already the microbiotics that are and organisms that are required to be in your stomach and in your intestines. So these babies require this meconium. It's important.
Fluid.
It's that
It's
black
that
thing,
black stuff.
Oh,
and it's important.
the one from this stool.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's in the water. No problem. No problem at all if there's meconium in the water, okay? Don't be afraid. If the baby is born and we find the meconium all across the face, then we wipe it away. We go in the mouth. We use gauze. Clean the mouth. If we see any, I'll clean it. If I don't see it, it ain't there. We use the bulb syringe and I can get right down to the larynx, the vocal cords, and I can clean it if there's anything there. I ain't touching it if there's nothing there. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
That's what I'm thinking. And like nowadays, people go to hospital for birth. Previously, they don't go, right?
No,
Even we born in the home. So
Yeah.
I have to clean our stomach with that.
This is, you know what it says in the Bhagavatam and in the Bible? Women will give birth in pain. And we all will be born in blood and stool of our mother. It says that. Krishna already told us what to expect. We're going to be born in our own stool, in our own urine, in our mother's stool, and I need your stool. Believe it or not, I know how rude. I think this is very rude. Do I have to start my life eating my mother's stool? Seriously? Who came up with this? But sadly, he did.
We can remember we need to go back down.
So who knows? I think it's part of the karma, right? But actually, there's a reason for this. It isn't just bad karma. There's a reason why we're born into our mother's stool. Yeah. I'm cool, aren't I? We're actually meant to drink the fecal fluid. Yeah. That's our first, what ambrosia that we take, our first nectar. This is the human birth. This is human birth. Bottoms up. And why? Not punishment. So you get good microorganisms in your gut. Your mother has live microorganisms to help us digest our food. So as the baby comes out, he drinks some. He's getting live microorganisms. Do you know that meconium is sterile? It's sterile. It's not a huge danger. It's sterile.
She's asking one question. Let's say baby does okay in the stomach, right? So
Yep.
is it like common or is it like rarely happen? And if it happen, how do we know that it's happened?
Okay.
And is it risky for like the baby?
Yes, it can be risky.
Okay.
So sometimes, yeah, baby swallows. Mostly, nothing will happen. Mostly, it just digests and goes through. I know. It's pretty sad. Look, we all know this. This is it. This is the proof. This is the proof. This is not worth living for. This is gross. We actually take birth in stool and urine, and we got to eat it. It's gross, people. But that's how Krishna made it. We're all here because we wanted to be. And you're all pregnant because you wanted to be.
No, the baby wanted to be. No, Shastra
What?
said it was the baby.
No. This is our karma. Okay? And it's perfectly worked out. So yes, it does happen. Mostly it's okay. If it's a problem, so what we do afterwards, when you have a baby, we come back the next day. We come back the third day, whatever, shut up in the corner. First, third, fifth, 1 week.
But in the hospital, like it happened with one of her sister, like the baby, like it was stool in the stomach. So they said, only 40% again. The baby, she passed a stool on the stomach and they said like it's risky, so they cut her stomach and just came out. They did the C-section.
So she
Oh,
passed-
before she was born.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this happens all the time, and no, that's a lie.
Okay.
I know, I could ask you.
Maybe, yeah.
Silent birth. For all Indians, you must read this book.
So like,
All Indians must read this because they're lying to you. They're lying to you. They're cutting you open, mutilating you. They don't even stitch you guys back up right here. You're injured in a big way. Don't do it. Don't opt out. Again, the real reason why I'm here is about pain. You gotta put up with it. Deal with it. Giving birth hurts. It hurts. It ain't gonna kill you. It ain't that bad till the very end. And the baby's coming and it's too soon, so you'll let it go. But cesarean sections increase the risk to you by 40%.
Risks of like mother life.
She, for number one, she will always be, her uterus will always be scarred and less, just that little bit more damaged. You can still have a baby naturally over and over and over again, still yet. But we disadvantage you right there. When you cut through, we cut through a lot of nerves. We kill those nerves. So your uterus and you aren't so much connected anymore because the communication between your brain and your body parts rely on your nervous system. If I slice through your uterus, I just canceled out all the communication between you and your uterus. This increases your risk. Also, this is not a small surgery. This is major abdominal surgery. We're slicing through a lot of layers of muscle, 7 layers, and muscle, peritoneum, skin, fat, fascia, and these.
They connect back when we say it is getting cured after some couple of.
You get sutured. Every 7 layers get sutured. If you've got a good doctor, we've noticed some doctors in Krishnanagar who gather the 7 layers together and roll them up and stitch them as one. You see me, right? Anybody sew here? Anybody a seamstress? That's what you do, you know.
Yeah, she
Yeah, you know, sewing, the seams, they're just doing these stupid rollover seams. You can't heal this way. You can't heal this way. It will take you 6 months, not 6 weeks. It's dangerous to you. It's not safe. Somebody, I think it was you, no, not you. Somebody asked about, I heard about it might be dangerous to the baby. Babies born by cesarean section have a lower IQ. Yes, there's something that has to happen for a baby. You have to go through the vagina. So babies who are born by cesarean section will usually have respiratory and digestive issues for the rest of their life because they are born into antibiotics. Their immune system is suppressed and it doesn't get to mature properly. As the baby moves through the pelvis and through the vagina, I've shown you all these. These are movable parts. These are parts of a skull. They all move. This one will fold over that and this. Yeah. They get reshaped as they go through the birth canal.
Was it good for IQ?
So what happened? This all opens and breaks and moves, shifts and changes. Otherwise, they're fused. They stick together. So babies who do not get this happen tend to fuse here. They have hard time breaking open this suture. So as they get older and older, kids who are born by cesarean section, without really being aware of, they're feeling something's happening here. Something's happening here. And there's some, I'll share another video if I remember, certain little cranial exercises you can do for kids who have been born by cesarean and have not had this ability. Yeah. So yes, you would suffer more neurological damage by cesarean sections. Let's see, there's something I'm trying to think, cognitive. It affects cognitive skills. Cognitive means your ability to think. Yeah. So nowadays you find a lot of kids who can't sit still, who can't concentrate. They're all born by cesarean section. Got your SAT scores, your school grades aren't going up, people. They're going down with the Caesars. What you see, that's not right for any human being. So what we're here for is because I found that, as I mentioned, my cesarean rates have doubled this one last year. And I'm looking at all of you. Now, you have to put up with the pain of labor. It's painful. Sorry. Put up with it. You're not getting any sympathy from me. Sorry, I've got cranky. I used to be more patient, but I'm not. I walk in there and I'm seeing women looking at me like this. Mataji. Don't look at me like that. I'll get angry. I'll get angry. Ask her. We're here for Radhakund, actually. We're here for Radhakund. I can't break her. I already did. You guys have to put up with the pain. You're not weak. It's everybody puts up with it. Hate to tell you, you're not special. This is where I said, please forgive me, because I'm going to tell you some harsh words. You're not special. You're tough. You're tough. I can see you. You're tough.
Is there a way to control the pain?
Yes, there is. Actually, no. You cannot control it. And I mean this from the bottom of my intelligence, as much as I can push to you. Stand outside and call the wind. Call it. Call the sky and tell the temperatures to drop now. Go to the banks of the Ganges. Now rise. Rise. No, don't rise so much. Is this anything working for you guys? Is this helping? Did the wind get any stronger? This is nature. This is nature. You have to do it with your breathing and relaxing, and that's all. But if you don't, that's what you're going to do to your baby. I want you guys, because I've never heard people refer to contractions as pain before. You guys call contractions pain. It's a contraction. Except it's doing it here.
Contraction is what? Like stomach will become hard.
This is a contraction. Okay, so contractions are they're strings.
I mean, also you know that there is a construction like
She will know. She'll feel it. She'll feel it rise up, and then it'll get strong, and then it'll fade away.
like her stomach will become hard.
Yeah,
Hard.
it gets harder and harder and harder and harder and harder and harder. And all you can do is breathe.
What is the main cause of let's say we choose to have a home delivery, right?
Because they don't like the pain. And that's why I'm killing the pain right now.
Okay.
I need this, the pain issue here is your demon.
I mean, they
That's
get
your
scared,
demon.
They get
They're
scared.
terrified of it.
Okay.
You guys barely get into labor. I was explaining this yesterday.
I mean, that's awful. They are saying it.
So labor evolves. It's like climbing a hill. In the beginning, it's very easy. What you're feeling now is pretty much it, and it'll get stronger and stronger. But it'll start like that. And that's what it feels like for these first 4 to 5 centimeters. And this tends to be the longest part of labor. This here, this bit here, probably takes up 70% of your labor is absorbed in these 1 to 5 centimeters. And guess what? That's when Indian women give up. Indian women give up before you got started. It's barely a menstrual cramp. Barely a menstrual cramp. Get over it. You're tough. And if you don't think you're tough, then don't do it. Go to the hospital now. But that's what you're doing to your baby. And what I hear from women in India now, pain, 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 pain. What about your baby? Did you forget your baby? If you think you're having pain, guess what your job is in labor? You know what you got to do in labor? Relax. How hard? Chill out. Relax. Breathe. Eat. Drink. Breathe. Go to sleep. Relax. How hard is that? That's your job? That ain't hard. You can do it. Don't tell me you can't. Sorry, I'm grumpy, but I'm tired of watching this. I'm tired of watching it. You don't know what you're doing to yourselves. What are you doing to your babies? You go to the hospital. Stop it. All for what? Because you can't handle a contraction? Yes, you can. Think about your baby, not you. Why? The baby's doing all the work, not you. Okay.
You want to think.
Baby is doing all the work. You guys are resting and breathing. This baby has to chop. This is what your baby does. Baby isn't sitting there like a dead piece of fish. The baby is doing the work, not you. Not you. Baby. He's putting up all the hard work. It ain't easy. It hurts. This is how we forget everything about being in the womb. In the womb, they're realized. They know all their past and present births. They know everything. But the shock of birth, they forget it all. Because they have to do this. Not you. Like this. No, that's not working. Maybe it was not working.
This baby do by on with you.
They all, every bloody baby does the same dance. There's a dance that happens. It's called the cardinal movements of birth. Every kid goes through the same rotations and movements.
Is it like they do the force, or it is the air which pushes them like?
Both together. So the contractions. Okay, so imagine you're in a room and this is what's happening for them. And the room is pretty tight. The room's getting smaller. So that's what's happening. The uterus is clamping down on them. It's time for you to go. So every time you have a contraction and you're crying and screaming, this guy's getting pushed down. I gotta get out of here. Gotta get out of here. How do I do this? He's twisting and wiggling. He's getting jammed into the bones when he's not in the right position, and he's the one who has to get in the position. This one wiggles, crawls, squiggles. He gets out, but he has to do it. And while contractions come, oh, that's not right. Let me try another way. Okay, that's better. The whole way through, he's doing it, not you. But if you're afraid, guess what you're doing? Contraction comes, I'm scared. I'm terrified. When I'm scared, Mom, let go. Let go. I can't, Mom, I can't move. I can't move, Mom. Relax. Mom. How can a baby move? When you're scared, that's not nice. Stop thinking about your pain. It's not about you. It's about every time you feel a contraction, don't you dare say the word pain. Baby. We have a new word for this. It's called a baby. What did you? I'm having a baby. Yeah, I know. Is that good? Did you? Baby. Yeah, I know. Get out of your head. Baby. So also another thing that happens in hospital, and actually what happened at our last birth, because I see this is what happens. People think it's a really good idea to push on the mother's stomach.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think? What does this look like? Why do babies go into stress? I have no idea.
Because of that.
Oh, Mataji, your baby's distressed. We're going to have to do a cesarean now. I'm sorry, your baby's distressed. We have to cut him out now. So I'm frustrated. We've walked through women like you over and over and over again. We get attached to you. We learn all about you. I know your face, man. I imagine your smile when you giggle, when you laugh. I imagine your smile. I know it. I know your babies as I start moving them and playing with them. I get to know them. And then if you're going to chicken out, you're going to get so scared. Oh, I can't deal with the pain. It's going to get more painful. And then I'm watching you and your baby that I got used to, and watch her, man. She's hopeless. She just, her heart broke. These two women, their hearts broke at this last birth.
Like the woman got very scared. That's why
That was the only reason for any of my cesareans here in India. One, actually, I could give.
You went to hospital there.
So I was ready to wait 5 days if you have but too much scared.
Do you know that for a normal first-time labor is 48 hours? Now, and I keep saying it, 48 hours, but actually for Indian women, it's 5 days. I'm sorry, but it's your fear. You could do it in 7 hours. Think about that. You can, but if you're scared, and look, I point the finger at me too. I procrastinate. I delay my labors. I do.
Once she was asking to my sister, elder sister, like how many days it really take to have a labor pain? Then like somebody's like told like 45 days, but my sister, I have a labor pain, I just sleep and like it happened.
Bang, and that was it. What did she do? She went into labor and she what? She went to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, just she was relaxing and just sitting open, you know. Yeah.
She went to sleep,
Yeah.
she relaxed, and the labor was able to happen. The baby could find its way out because the mother isn't so terrified. And how can a baby get out? And then everything else that we see that happens to these children. No,
Now, here's one question. Like, she's asking, let's say was baby is coming in a way, then at the beginning, like the baby got stuck. So do you like put your hand and just pull out the baby or like
babies don't get stuck.
okay.
Babies come.
It take time.
Most,
She's asking that let's say head has came out and the shoulder like it's not came out. Like do you pull and just like you know or like
so if I do things like this, then I increase risk and damage to the baby. It actually can damage the baby. So imagine, so again, part of the normal physiology of the birth, the baby will actually be at an angle like this. So if I'm having a baby in this position, the baby's shoulders will be at an angle, but the head will be looking straight down. So he comes out. So, but when he's out, so once his head's born from this point, okay, not this, he comes out. And now, because he comes out this way, but his arm's at an angle, and his arm's at an angle, now his head straightens out. So he's born looking down. Get it? It's like this. I mean, even that's uncomfortable. Don't you think
yeah.
that's kind of a rough, don't you think?
So
The baby's going through a lot of work, a lot of trouble. Please relax. And so he's lifting up, and then the head's out. The head's out, and he's looking straight down. And the next step is for his head to turn. And then the body turns. So first, head's this way, it turns, and the whole body turns. So the shoulders are more or less up and down. Then one shoulder comes and the other shoulder comes. So this is a process again, and they all do it differently. There's only a few ways, but they all choose their own way. So yes, it's not automatic. Sometimes this whole crowning thing can take quite a long time. Like sometimes I'm amazed. Are you for real? How much longer? This is why I want to retire. Seriously. You get these heads, man, you get these heads. This is what you see. Like the last birth I did in Mayapur before I left, this sat there like 40 minutes. No, this wasn't the sleeping one. I have fallen asleep. I have fallen asleep. But they're just sitting there. You never know what they're going to do. You really don't.
if each baby has different way.
Because they're also in different angles, like I say, there's a thing called spelunking, which is going through caves, right? If you exploring caves, and sometimes in a cave, you have to crawl through these really tight. Theirs is rocky. Fortunately, the baby is soft with vagina, but rocks. You still have to. They have to turn and crawl through these holes. So that's what they're doing. So sometimes it might be a slow like this, very slow. Usually it's not too slow. Once you see this, probably within, depending again, 10, 15 minutes, you too, this time it's your role. You're involved too. So sometimes the baby at this point, head will come and the rest of the whole body will come. Not so often, but sometimes. Sometimes it comes out and sometimes you get stuck at an ear. Sometimes you get babies stuck at the mouth. Not stuck. They aren't stuck. They just take and they come out.
The other thing is the head is the hardest part of the baby. the shoulders, everything else swishes.
Yeah.
They're not like us. They're very pliable. They're just a sack of skin with some little bones inside.
And
The
like
head-
this, even this is pliable. That's
Yeah.
why the skull is designed like this. So it can shift and move. So that's why when you see babies, sometimes they got off to the, you've got a
Yeah.
bump here. And the heads are ridiculous shaped. You know, they can be, yeah, full, yeah, fully. But you know, it goes back into shape in 4 hours. Within 4 hours, that's gone. They can be bruised black and blue. Yeah. But again, it's all okay. We let go and relax so there's less burden.
Now, if your baby is stubborn, that just means it can take a little longer.
Chella and Mandakini. Babies are there's a personality there. So Mandakini is my 4-day labor. 4 days. She has not changed. She's 46 years old. She's the same brat in my uterus at that day of birth. I'm not ready. I'm ready to come. Don't make me. This is my personal space.
You're like elder one?
No, this is she's the second daughter. She's my second baby, but she was slow.
Mm.
And even when she finally came out, she didn't breathe. And it was a bit of time. I forget how, it was a significant amount of time. And she didn't breathe and we were working with her. Oh my God. And she hasn't changed. She's still like this. For real, she's slow at everything. And only later did we find out that calling her Munda wasn't probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Slow and bad.
Uh,
But I named her Mandakini, but we always called Munda, stuff it. So it was only much later and the damage was done and she was already slow and demanding. So, and other kids I've met, you know, some kids that are born in 4 hours and just fly out and the mothers are still in shock. And then the kids are now like 20 years old, 30 years old, and I'll ask them, what are they like? Oh my God, he just runs into the street. He never stops. He's into everything before you can stop him. He never waits. He never listens. The kids are there. The kids are there. They're real people and they show themselves in the womb and they sure as hell show themselves in labor. I suggest you start having good conversations with your babies now. Tell them what you expect from them. And if they are head down, you can tell them, I said. No, you can't. Okay, so I know it's been long and this is the last bit I want to show you.
Can I say something?
Yes, I want to get that.
The other thing to recognize is that we cannot tell you how long you're going to be in labor.
Please don't ask me
We
this.
can't. The only person who can tell you is sitting on the altar over there,
And he
And
never
good luck.
tells us.
getting him to tell you.
Yeah, get good luck getting any information out of him that he didn't already tell us.
You know, and then I like to think of it as we don't know the karma of
I
the
take
baby. We don't know
risks.
your karma in that respect. So it's like, you know, it could be, and it can. I have watched babies being born, nothing is happening, and 5 minutes later the crown's head, 5 minutes later the baby's born. But we've been 20 hours sitting there being like, Jesus, what's going on? And it's like maybe, and it's that thing, my daughter is born 4 minutes after the nakshatra changes. And it's and I'm like, okay, what would have happened if she was born and it's like, I don't know. So understanding from a shastric point of view that your baby will be born exactly when they are meant to be born. Just let it be. You can turn around like, how long? I don't know. You know, how long? When are you gonna die? Can you tell me when you're gonna die? Tell me when you're gonna die. I have
And
no
what's it
idea when
like?
you're gonna die.
What's it like when you die? What's it like? I mean, do you ask yourselves that question?
No.
Okay, well, I'm older than all of you, but I do ask that question. What's it like when you take that last breath?
It's hellish.
Well, one would
Your
think,
soul is getting ripped from your body. It's hellish.
So, you
It is. It is.
no,
You've
it's
got
a serious
you've got
question. I'm
attached
asking
to
that
this.
question.
You've gotten
Because
attached
I'm
to
older,
this.
I'm wondering.
It's hellish.
In Puranas, it says that it's like 40,000 scorpions biting him.
Jesus.
See? It's hellish.
Yeah.
Unless you're a yogi and then you just like, how do you go?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Just we got a break on that.
The point is that it's like you don't know when you're gonna die. You don't know when you cannot, there's no way anyone can tell you when this baby will be born.
Destiny is there.
It's fine.
So asking, oh, how it's been 20 hours, when's the baby coming?
Yeah, don't ask me
Please
that
go on-
question.
Please go and talk to Krishna because he will tell you, maybe. If you're a really good devotee.
Maybe curiosity or maybe based on experience, people might be asking because you have so much of vast experience in this. So
It's
it's
the answer,
predicted or not? That's
no, the educated answer to that question is, I don't know. That's as good as you're gonna get. It doesn't get any better than that. I don't know.
Because
I will never know. And anybody else is giving you an answer is because they've already worked out in their mind that if you don't do this by then, I'm doing that. And you will have your baby by then for sure, because I'm gonna make sure I take it. If I leave it to Krishna, he's never given me a clue. And out of 1,500 births, you think I'd know something by now.
I mean, it's important to recognize, like, so you can have a baby that's 20 hours, you cannot see the baby crowning, like means you cannot see the head. And within 5 minutes, there's a head. And 5 minutes later, the head is born. And then, 20 minutes later, there's a body. And then you get kids, it's like they'll sit there like this for 40 minutes. And you're like, why aren't you coming?
God, please,
So
God,
each baby,
please.
and they know at this point they still have some connection with Paramatma, that they like a strong connection, that they're like, oh, I've got to wait 5 more minutes because really my karma doesn't really play out so nicely like this, but it'll play out nicely like this. So we'll wait the 5 minutes. Maybe they're negotiating. Maybe they're like,
I
oh my
wouldn't
God.
doubt it.
like,
I would. Hell yeah, I'd be negotiating with Krishna at that last moment. Yeah.
well,
That's a really
my
interesting
speculation.
idea.
No, my speculation is that they're in the womb. They're like, I'm done. That's what Bhagavatam said. They're like, I'm done with this. It's too hellish in here. And then they get halfway down and they're like, oh shit, I know what it's like out there. No. Take me back. Take me back. I'll suffer in here. I don't want to suffer out there. So who knows?
So, like as you said, that like head comes in 5 minutes, 20 minutes. Suppose the head came,
Yeah.
or like half the body came, half inside.
No, it never happens. Half the,
No.
but once the shoulders are out, the baby just
Okay, let's
comes.
say
Then
The head and the
the
shoulders don't
head
come.
has come and five
It
minutes,
does happen. This is,
nakshatra changes.
this
So
is,
when does it consider that he was
It's an issue.
after it comes out?
oh,
according to Shastra, there are three predictions for time of
Yeah.
birth. It is conception, which is very hard to tell because it's not when you have sex, it's when the sperm meets the egg. There is, I can never remember this one, like I never remember the second one. And the third is, the literal translation is head touching ground. Because women used to birth squatting just like this far from the ground. So the little Shastra translation is head touching ground.
but then
because
the
then
other
that's
one
the
is
question.
oxygen.
There
When they
is
take their
something
breath.
that it's like, when do they take their, like, it's calculating when that actually happens can be
Correct.
difficult. So
Correct.
it's like, that's why they say head touching ground is the most accurate time of prediction of time.
Okay. So what she just said, because, and we were discussing it before, when a baby is born, they're usually kind of shocked and it takes them a moment to. And then they will slowly, either some of them will come out screaming and some of them will start breathing with their heads out, no kidding, and actually murmuring and starting to say stuff. My grandson, I always talk about Makoa, was screaming. And he hasn't stopped. He's 21.
Yeah.
He's still screaming.
What are you doing?
That's of course, but he grew up. Yay, good Makoa.
So.
Yeah, it can happen. It can happen that the head is born and the shoulders don't come. So we do a few things. There are mechanisms that we do. It does not involve and never will involve grabbing a head. I have to tell you, I just discovered this In India, there are 5 decapitations from grabbing the head. And they pulled the head right off the baby. Okay, so 5 times in the last year. So please, all people in India do not grab the baby's head.
It's not as right.
And we will not reach up and grab your baby. No. So baby's out, head's out. I'll get my fingers in here and in here. And then it's called a corkscrew. So there's a shoulder that's stuck. You've got a shoulder stuck behind the pubic bone, behind this bone. And the other shoulder is stuck under the tailbone, which is flexible. Tailbone flexible, this one not so much, but a little. So if he gets actually jammed, we'll know. There's some signs that we see that the shoulders are actually jammed and not just delayed. There's 2 things, delayed, taking time, and actually stuck. So if it's actually stuck, the head comes out and sucks back in like this, so that the perineum, the baby's chin, digs into the mother's body like this. You can't see the neck. You won't see the baby's neck. He's just stuck. So we reach in. I get 2 fingers in the front, 2 fingers underneath, and it's called corkscrew. So I rotate the baby this way so that the shoulder comes out. And then at this point, the baby should come. Otherwise, I rotate again and the bottom shoulder comes out and the whole baby comes. So, yeah. And that's how we handle shoulder dystocia. So it's called. Yep.
That being said, and so moms, the breast of the stage, and how much closer and thicker you have your baby once you have that first things there.
Oh,
I have to go.
okay. Yep. Okay. So. So as I mentioned, these first bits, 1 to 4, that's the beginning of labor. These are the earlier contractions. And you can see this is the doorway. This is the opening that the baby has to come through. So your whole labor and contractions are about making this happen, making this doorway open. It's thick at this point and it gets thinner and thinner and thinner. It starts off this thick. For you, it's probably a little thick. Oh, for you, where is she? She's gone. She went up. But for her cervix is already half thinned, probably. For yours, you're getting thinner. For me, when I'm pregnant, because I've had a lot of kids, I will be 4 centimeters at your stage. I've had enough kids. So this is the early part of labor. It's early labor. It's not real labor at all. So there's a thing called active labor and inactive labor, early labor. So a lot of women in India will give up at this point and they cannot believe they can go any further.
It's very painful, it can possibly.
It's not that painful. Not at this point. I'm sorry, it isn't.
If she can wait for her kids to go to bed and do all her chores. And
She has no kids.
Then, no, I'm saying you.
Oh, me. Yeah.
Like, work by date can actually wait till you're done doing all your house chores and then you say, okay, I'm ready to give birth.
Which is what I do. Once you have a bunch of kids, you start.
Check your job around.
I mean, I can't labor nicely in a meditative way. Mom, Kanani hit me. Kanani, stop it. I don't want to hear it. Kanani, stop it. Mom, I'm hungry. Okay, let me cook. You go back and forth in the morning, you're dealing with your family, da-dee-da-dee-da, because they're in your face. That's the disadvantage of a home birth. They're in your face. So you take care of them. But when you put them to bed, then the contractions come back. While I'm busy, because the contractions aren't so strong at this point. I'll say that again. The contractions are not very strong at this point The woman that we had it, that this last labor, she was getting up, doing her job, looking, meditating on her security cameras. She was not ever in established or active labor, nor were these other women. They gave up. So later, so this is the longest part right here. That takes up most of your labor, getting to here. Once you get to here, it gets quicker. Now you've got the baby's head nicely sitting on the cervix, pushing that cervix open with this hard head. So from here to here, it goes quicker. And then from here to here, oh boy, oh my God. Oh, this is the heavy stuff. Yeah, it's like worse than that. Boy. So in the beginning, contractions are weaker, shorter, and irregular. They don't set up a regular pattern. They're not particularly strong, and they come and go, come and go. They can start a routine and a pattern and then stop and start again, slow down, start again. Wow, it's going really slow, and then stop. That's okay. That's normal labor. Go to bed. Get some sleep. Don't freak out. Rest, eat, drink. Okay. When you get up to here, now we are working. This is now established and active labor. Now you can tell me. Now I'll listen to you a little bit. I'll be a little more lenient. Contractions start getting faster. They start getting longer. They start getting stronger. And you know what? You actually want this. That's exactly what you've been waiting for. You're waiting for them to get stronger, to get longer and closer together, which means there's a longer break between contractions than there are contractions. I'll repeat that. It means you have more time without any contractions than you do spending with contractions, meaning you can sleep. You can sleep. And if you can't sleep, you ain't trying enough. You're freaking out and you're letting your fears stop you. Or you're letting your friends talk to you. Or you're answering your phones. Don't. Because your people will say, haven't you that baby yet? You should go to the hospital for cesarean. So don't answer the phone. Don't tell anybody you're in labor. Actually, rule 1 for a home birth. Do not tell your friends and family. Do not tell your neighbors. All right? So it will get stronger. It will get more intense. And if you relax, now there's something that happens that your body does. There's 2 things. It releases a hormone called endorphins. Endorphins are the body's natural pain relief. This is what joggers and guys, that's why people are into fitness and gyms nowadays. They love the release of endorphins. It gives you a high. It's called, in the West, they call it jogger's high, because people now jog all the time. Prabhupada made fun of it because it's just increasing. It's about our breaths. Vedically, that's how long we live. You jog, you increase your breath. You're only dying sooner, says Prabhupada. So here, it's the joggers, this endorphin release that gives you a high that people get into. So if you relax into the contractions, your body will release endorphins to help you deal with the pain. If you become afraid and scared, instead of endorphins, your body will release adrenaline. This causes your muscles to contract. This increases your heart rate. your dilation, your eyes will dilate. Why? You're tense, you're getting ready to fight or run. There's no relaxing in this. That's when you start grabbing your baby and pinning your baby down. Adrenaline. Now come on down, baby, come on down. I can't, Mom. Let go. Let go, Mom. So that's with that. Hang on. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm almost finished. This is the last bit I'm getting to. So with the rights and responsibilities, I haven't finished all of them. There's probably 5 I missed out, but you can look at them. But the last responsibility you have is to remunerate your midwife. You gotta pay me, people, as requested, and notice what it says, prior to delivery, as prearranged. And that's what I'm saying here. We put a lot of time and effort into your births. We've been doing it since the day you walked in. When you're not in our house, we're still working on you. I do a lot of work all night long. You should see my bed. It's not a bed, it's a desk.
Nice. Get to this.
It's completely covered. Every day I'm typing and I'm making up more things like this and translating them into Russian and stuff like this. I'm making films and stuff. We're working hard for you. I spent 50 years learning what I know, and I'm giving it all to you. Not only that, so this woman here, these 2 women, they went out at this last birth. They sat there for 30 hours, fixing the tub, talking to the mother, massaging, reassuring. We say the same things over and over and over and 1,000 times over again. I repeat, all this stuff, 50 years of experience. These people sit with you. They take care of you. And over, we're seeing women give up. Not that a baby's in trouble, the baby's doing fine until it went to the hospital.
They said I want to go to the hospital.
Yes. So, okay, so I'm actually exploring this a little bit too. Normally, I never speak like this to people. I never speak to mothers like this. I'm feeling like I have to. Since I came this year, it's been a topic I've spoken about. I have groups, and we're commonly talking about the new influence in India that has terrified everybody and how everything's changed. And it's so hard to get in this year alone. Before I did, no issue here in Mayapur. Now it's a big issue. Nobody can handle the pain. Actually, you can. Nothing new has happened. What happened? Brainwashing. You got poisoned. I want to take that poison out of you. So I'm spending time doing this. And the transfers happen. So really what happens, and this is what happened to us. I burnt these 2 out. This woman leaves her 2 children and her husband to look after the 2 kids overnight. The kids are used to calling her mom, mom. She called me, and I'm sorry, I'm going to expose you. She called me at this labor in tears, Radhakund in tears. This girl walks into every room and the room lights up with her enthusiasm.
Yeah.
She brings light to everybody's place. And here she is working with his family, and she's breaking down in tears. Why? Why is she in tears? Why were you crying, Radhakund? Because the baby was almost here. You could have had your baby at home. It was a perfectly good opportunity, but you chickened out. You couldn't even tolerate 4 centimeters. Now we take you to the hospital. Your baby, you're going to be butchered. Your baby's going to be tortured. And we fell in love with your baby. We fell in love with your baby. I like your babies. Don't you take them to the hospital for butchery. I've never done this, spoken to women like this. But now I'm ready to say, I don't know. I don't know. It's something in my mind. No, you're not going to the hospital. It's not my right to do that to you. But I don't know. Sometimes this culture responds more to being yelled at. Yeah. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I don't know, because I've never had to yell at a mother. It's not been my practice. But I'm ready to yell at you now. Sorry. I'm so sorry. But I can't see you get butchered. Look at you. Look at you. Now it's not going to happen to you anyway.
No.
Don't let it happen to you. What are you doing? Take care of your baby. And it starts at labor. It's actually started. Labor is the big challenge. And frankly, it's only getting ready for teenagers. 13-year-old. When your kids become teenagers, it's a whole new game. So this is the beginning of a tough challenge. You got more coming. So deal with it. I'm so sorry to yell at you. I'm really sorry. But deal with it. Put up with it. For your baby. For your baby. And for you. For you. You go have that cesarean, you will not be the same. For what? Because you don't want pain? My foot's killing me. I can barely walk on it. Look at this monster. See this? It didn't used to be there. It's growing this month. It's doubled in size.
Actually, it's from childhood.
No, this is a year old, year and a half old, and it's getting big. I don't like it. Okay, I will get it cut out. But you cannot. This is not right. This is a misnomer. This is an anomaly. That is not. Having a baby is not. So you just have to put up with it. And yes, you need to pay me beforehand. I'm sorry. I used to wait till after, but not now. You guys will go to hospital. You'll forget all the work we put into you, and you won't give us a penny. And she's going to go back, and her husband's going to be frustrated, although he wasn't. But she drove home in rain. And when that cyclone hit, she rode home in rain in her cycle by herself. Dripping wet, she walks in the door. She's not getting paid.
Two children are also waiting for.
2 children, and she was in tears because her daughter called her. She was busy. I can't answer the phone. The phone rang, and then she looked and she realized it was her daughter. And it's a simple thing. Her daughter's used to saying goodnight, Mom. She's used to saying goodnight to her daughter. She breaks down in tears because she didn't answer the phone. She's breaking her heart for you. Pay her. Sorry, pay her. Pay me. How do I live? How do I pay my rent, people? You think I got money? I'm here without a pension. I go home to Australia. I get 85,000 rupees a month to sit on a beach, play my ukulele, doing nothing. I come here and beg you. I hope you pay me. Because I pay him. I will one day. I pay people, the woman here, filming. I gotta pay her. Why am I doing it? So I can get no donations. to make a birth center. Not for me. I spent my inheritance, people. My kids are so angry. I'd love to show you a video of my kids. They're angry. By the way, this is their message for Buddha, but it goes to all of you. You're spending our inheritance, is what my kids yell down the phone.
You're spending your saving like you.
I spent everything, Prabhu.
What's that?
Kids don't wanna have anything which dies.
The only thing they have is my property, and that I was close to when I went back that time to Australia. I was going to take a mortgage on it. I own it outright. I was going to mortgage it so I can buy land here and build a birth center for you. I'm not having babies, and my kids aren't coming here to have theirs. It's for you. I spent my mother's will. I spent my father's will, all of it. I got a little from my husband. It's gone, but $5,000 to get me home. At the end of this year, if I don't make it, I go home with what's left of $500,000. Okay? More than $500,000 I've run through coming here. Yeah, my kids aren't happy. Too bad. No, it's my inheritance, not theirs. But that's the argument I have to have with them, but it's pretty funny when they talk to me. We have all a good sense of humor. But so, if you have issue with anything, again, you have a right and a responsibility to talk to me. Tell me. If what I've just said is hard for you, tell me. But I'm not coming to you if I'm not paid. I'm not doing this again. Because it's not because you're not going to the hospital because I couldn't help you. You're going to the hospital because you didn't want to do it. You didn't want to follow through. I'm not getting penalized for that, neither is she. Her children are not getting penalized for this. And even if you go to the hospital in an emergency, it's because I spotted it. I spotted it. I prepared your child or your woman to go to hospital. I saved people's lives, saved their lives. They could have died. Seriously. And I take them to hospital and say goodbye to any payment. Not that this is not what this is about. I'm not here for money. Trust me. I'm not making a lot of money. This is, in my country, we call it kulyana. You call it dharma. This is my dharma.
Service.
I have no choice. It's more than a service. Kulyana means responsibility. It's dharma with responsibility. I can't walk away from it. I've been trying for 24 years. I'm still here. Okay, so thank you. It's been a very, very long day and I put you through a lot of stuff and I'm very sorry, but I think you needed to hear this stuff. And we're human and we need to debrief too. I need to share how I feel.
It's good to discuss,
Yes,
instead of like feeling sorry, it's good to discuss. Many things get clear when we discuss, right?
exactly.
Because there will be just like I had a doubt.
So please tell me your doubt. You have a right to your doubt. And as I say to your men, actually to all of you, it's your job. You're going to be a mother. You better have doubts. You better ask questions. It doesn't end here. It's the beginning. The beginning of your challenges. You must start asking questions. You must do for you and your baby. Yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, only one thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You
Generally,
can stay as long as you like. I just want to make sure I don't burn you guys out. Go on.
No, I think because we understood everything, like it's pain and we have to go with the process. But sometimes it happens with the psychology of the mind. We generally come and ask, what's it's happening here? But it's all what we expect that yeah, it should happen. Yeah, actually, it is like general. So that kind of support in that moment that even help husbands also to understand,
Very much.
care about it. But it happened that by psychology we say because we never have experience. So sometimes we may say, but it's I request that you guys should take that not to hesitate yourself and to merciful on us and accept that yes, it's good.
Well, mostly that's what I'm trying to do. In fact, that's why we're sitting here.
You're giving like classes.
Like
right?
some educational courses. Wow.
We might understand now,
You.
but during that labor, we might forget.
Oh, I promise you, we repeat this 1,000 times. Laughing at the back. We say it over and over and over and over. We will say it 1,000,000 times. We'll bring you the pictures. We'll talk. We say it over and over and over again. And I make the joke and I mean, look at the appointments that you have with me. They aren't 5 minutes, are they? You see your doctor, you're in and out in less than 10 minutes. It wouldn't be 7 minutes. But you've been given a lot of medication. You come to me, you stay for 2 hours. I do the same things, don't give you medication, and we teach you all about, I ask about how you're going, and we talk about your pregnancy. And I educate you and prepare you for the birth and after the birth. So yes, this is all what I consider as our responsibility in what we provide to you. Absolutely. So I do accept 100% that you must be educated and informed. And this is why I do this, and in fact, that's for you. You must be educated and informed. You must be educated and informed. That's your job. That's your job and your job. Part of your way of educating yourself, ask questions. You have a question for me? You have a doubt? Come to me. Come to me. That's my responsibility. You're paying me. I'm telling you, pay me. You say, I'm paying you, you answer me. Get it?
Yeah.
If you pay me money, I must provide a service. Yeah? You don't give me money and I hold back. Yeah? You give me money, I owe you an answer. And you go and ask other people. Don't just ask me. I'm just one person. Ask other people. Find out what's right for you. You, not me. Not that piece of paper. For you. What's right for you? And we work together.
Do you have a copy of it? So I do not get every everything.
So, right, yeah, I have to print it. I only have one, I think, on hand I gave away today, so I'll print out more this morning. I'll send some out, but I'll print in hand to everybody. Because it's good to look at and every now and then think about.
So this document which you are saying.
Everybody gets. So it's usually I used to give it out regularly to everybody in the West and talk about it. But here it became, when I spoke about the rights, it was amazing how I'd speak about it and people were confused. They were never introduced to the idea that you had a right. That if you give me money, wow, you have rights. There's a thing called consumer rights. You're a consumer. You buy things. So as a consumer, you have rights. You got to get the product you paid for.
What about after the birth? How to get the birth certificate? Like you give something?
Yes. Okay, so we have had trouble up to now. So one of my students is moving here and she's actually a gynecologist. And she is going to give us our birth certificates. Whee! Yes, Haribo. So she's moving to Mayapur. She's looking at moving here permanently. So I'm trying to encourage her. She's actually a gynecologist, but she got so burnt out.
Yeah, so I was reading, government docs. So what they need is like just a proof that, the baby born at this time at this place, right?
So the
Yeah.
problem here is the panchayat is corrupt. So of course we know who's the head gunda, whose name cannot be, what is his name? Voldemort. What's his name? Whose name cannot be spoken. It's a low, Louis Govinda, Voldemort. Lord. You cannot say his name, but everybody knows. But so these guys are all in cahoots, right? There's a whole bunch that are in cahoots who manage Mayapur, this is part of Hari Leela. So he knows you're coming to me. He wants to make it difficult. But the thing is by law, and I got the law. The law is, it doesn't matter where you give birth. The head of the household can come in and has a legal right to report the birth.
Yeah.
And you have a legal right to get a birth certificate. But just because these guys are Muppets, they're making trouble, so people but it's illegal. So this woman's gonna come here. She's gonna be my backup doctor. She's gonna be my gynecologist. I'm hoping that she moves to Mayapur and she will stay with us. But believe it or not, she's a gynecologist and she's my student.
When the gynecologist doctor is
July.
Yes.
So yeah, and so she's gonna come. You will probably meet her. I'm training her. She's getting trained in natural birth. They don't train in natural birth in hospitals here. So I'm retraining her. But she can do stuff for us. If we actually need someone, we can do stuff with somebody who has a heart, who actually knows that's a baby. She actually knows your baby's a person and feels, if I put a needle into your baby's butt, he's gonna feel it. It hurts. Babies feel. It's a lie. Babies feel everything. So she won't hurt your baby. We're gonna teach how to touch. And if you don't, and also as a warning, if you don't get this right, I'm taking your babies home with me. Okay? You better get it right. Because I really don't want to raise any more kids. I'm just kidding. I'll never keep your kid. Yeah, okay. We should stand. No, I'm done. That's good. Oh, what did the recording stop? No.